This is a meeting of the inspectors of the Carbon County Jail. It's April 19th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of preparing accurate written minutes. Recordings are overridden following approval of the minutes, eliminating all unofficial records of these proceedings. And we'll note for the record that we do have a quorum present. Are there any guests here? Have any matters to address? Okay, there being none, then we'll have the approval of the minutes for the meeting held on, regular meeting on March 15th, 2023.
Motion approved. Second.
Motion by Rocky, second by Chris. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Report of executive sessions held. I don't think we went into executive session at the last meeting, but if we did, we announced what we were in for when we came out of it. Okay, reports of committees, maintenance report.
We have Sykes Brothers was in for their monthly service. Train was in to replace a sheet on rooftop unit number 6. The 3 small cracks that were in the main parking lot, I sealed those. I really haven't heard anything back on if anything's going to be done with the big cracks that are on the road going out that was just paved last year. Hobart was in, they did some warranty work on the dishwasher. Cintas was in for their 6-month service of the fire suppression system in the kitchen. Allstate was in, they emptied the grease trap, and I had Buckman Iron and Metal up and we removed all the scrap metal up there so the area's nice and clean. The only other thing yet, when I have someone has a chance to come up and direct what specific trees.
Yeah, and that was our question at the safety meeting. It was
Right.
like the trees are starting to get leaves. It would be
Yeah.
a good idea to get some of that stuff out of there before we're gonna have leaf cleanup yet too.
And then
That's
there's,
on me. I'll get up there with Daddy.
okay, then there is a additional water report that I'd like to speak on later.
Yeah, well, there's a matter on the water and the type of feasibility study that we have to do. We want to have a little bit of discussion about that feasibility study, which would affect, at least to a certain aspect, during that, the security at the prison. So we're going to take that in executive session. Okay, is there anybody have any questions for Rodney? Okay, thank you. Work release report.
Good afternoon, everyone. Submitted is the monthly work release report. There were a total of 4 individuals on the program, with currently there have been 3. 1 was paroled. And along with the revenues, also submitted is the monthly in-house report, which there are 23 individuals working on our in-house work program. So if there's any questions, I can certainly entertain those.
Yeah, I have one question. Is there any prohibition, and again, I'm trying to think back to the policy and stuff, or any opportunity for those eligible for work release to participate in outside of the facility education programs, such as technical programs at CCTI? The reason I bring that up, we had a conversation with CCTI, Carbon County Builders Association, our planning office, about funds we have available as part of the whole home repair program, which is focused on increasing habitability of homes. So therefore, individuals who need additional training or recertification in the trades, we can fund that. And we're kind of brainstorming different ideas. So is that something we could consider?
Sure, that's something that we could definitely look into. If it were to be done in-house, certainly we could have someone come into the facility.
It would have to be done at CCTI.
Okay.
Yeah.
So through a special work furlough type of situation, with the court's approval, we can get them approved for that, and if it takes several weeks or whatever the time frame is, the biggest thing would be with people getting out of jail, making sure they follow through.
Right.
But we can at least get the groundwork laid and
Right.
get them involved in a vocational training of
Yeah.
sorts.
Because one of the ideas we're looking at probably first is a 10-hour OSHA course, right? And there might be individuals who are currently in the facility, but will be released at some point, and this provides them an additional skill. You know, we might consider that. So maybe we could bring you into our next kind of session, just to kind of throw it out there and see if it's something we may want to at least consider.
Sure.
Would the court be willing to entertain something like that, where you're looking at, you know, if it being work release, that it's not true work release, but it's a vocational training program?
I think we'd have to know more about the program, Mike, and I think we'd have to see if there's any opposition from the DA's office. So,
No, yeah,
so-
I mean, I could say initially that I'd like to see something like that, if it falls right in line with it, I mean, especially for the work release aspect of
But
it.
no, I mean, I understand what the commissioner's saying. If we can get them additional training and make them more employable, and that's gonna be beneficial to everyone, makes a lot of sense.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Anybody have any other questions under the work release? Okay, moving on, plan of action committee, we did not have a meeting, normally Dan keeps notes on that, and we didn't have that. All right, warden's report.
All right, for the month of March, we had 75 male admissions, 23 female admissions. We had 68 male releases and 31 female releases. The average population for the month of March was 138 inmates. At the close of March, we had 111 males and 25 females in the prison. At the end of March, our total admissions for the year were 276 inmates. As far as transports go, we had a total of 16 for the month, broken down there, and we had 5 days with hospital duties.
Anybody have any questions on the warden's report? Being no questions, then I'll entertain a motion to accept the warden's report for the
Move to accept.
motion made by Commissioner Lukasevich, second by Commissioner Arner. All those in favor say aye. You
I
second it?
forgot, yeah, I forgot.
I heard you grunt.
I saw his lips moving, so.
I thought I heard him grunt. All those in favor say aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries. Okay, executive session. We're gonna go into a brief executive session. incorporated those in, or go on?
I'll look at it, don't
Alright.
worry.
Alright, we're good?
No, not yet. There we go.
Alright, so we were in an executive session on a personnel matter and a little bit with, security and safety at the prison, an issue that came up. Alright, so we'll move under the personnel report. Anything on there?
Nope.
Alright, there being no personnel report, then we'll move.
Well, there is a personnel.
Yeah,
report.
Okay,
There's a
so your personnel,
It's submitted,
it's submitted,
yeah.
a motion to approve, or to accept the personnel report.
Motion.
Rocky,
Second?
second by Commissioner Concepcion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Alright, any new business? I have one little thing that I was working on it, cause it does relate to the prison. And statutorily, it came down federally, but we have to enact it statewide, is that you can't mix the direct filed juvenile offenders with your adult prison population. So when there's a direct filing, when they commit a certain offense, that the juvenile will be charged as an adult. That's a direct filing. In the old days, you could just place them at the Carbon County Correctional Facility. Now they can't be mixed in terms of, they cannot even be within sight of the adult prisoners. I am working and thankful for the juvenile court office, because in their eyes, and their position statewide is that, well, if it's a direct filing, it's an adult case. It's no longer a juvenile case, so they're not involved and they're not gonna help out. Our juvenile probation office is not like that. That's an issue that we both have to resolve, and they're very helpful with it, because otherwise we need a location to place these people. After speaking with the warden, deputy warden, we were talking to, and, as far as the PREA, we're well ahead on PREA, and we're really good shape, and not a lot of the other correctional facilities are at the level that we're at. So, from the number of cells that we have in the, is it in the medical unit, that in the event that there was a direct filing, that medical unit could be used, and we meet all the requirements necessary to place a juvenile in there. So, for that short period of time, there has to be a hearing. We have a little protocol that we have to review with the court, see if the court's agreeable to the protocol that we have, but they have a hearing to determine whether they stay there. In the 23 years in the district attorney's office, and even speaking with Joe Greco, who's been there probably just as long as I have been, I think we had 2 or 3, 6 at the most, that were direct filings, 2 that were definite direct filings. The 6 that were there were a little bit of a stretch, and they didn't stay. In fact, they got petitioned right back down to juvenile, but 2 that were direct files. So it's not a major issue that we're gonna have. However, there's a lack of places to go with these when it's filed that way. So I just wanted to bring that up, that we are working on it, and that, you know, and commend the warden and the deputy warden on getting the things done, because we're in much better shape than most of the other counties are. Otherwise, you have to have a secure juvenile facility to put them in, and then everybody's under the same boat, so there are no places where you have to basically pay for a bed, and we're not a county that has that money, and we may have discussed that here before. We just don't have the finances in place to pay for a bed that we're not gonna use, except on rarer occasions, so.
And is there like a time that, like, short-term versus
It's,
long-term?
it's gonna
or-
be, yeah, it's gonna be a shorter, it may probably be a shorter term, because once you have them in there, and Derek and I spoke about this, it's just that initial, maybe, 15, 20 days from the original, when it's filed, till they get to their preliminary hearing, but then there's other facilities that
But then
have more
something
availability.
maybe after 30 days.
Oh, yeah.
You would have to,
Yeah,
okay.
and
Okay.
we're working with that too. We look at the ages there, and the meeting that we had was with the adult probation office as well, on the use of other, depending on the nature of the crime. Obviously, if it's a homicide, we're not doing that, but if it's one of the other offenses where we can use electronic monitoring or another type of service that's available, even though it is a direct file offense, they may be placed in a position where there is a safety to the community and the victim, and it's secure enough that we're not as concerned about them getting away, that they're gonna leave. You know, you have a younger, say, a younger offender, 13 years old, you know, and it has to be a direct filing because of what the act that was committed, but yet it, you know, maybe going to the grandparents' house 3 towns over with electronic monitoring is probably, might be a better option if we had a bunch of people in the medical unit that we weren't able to do it as well. There's a lot that we could do. Or, you know, we work real closely with juvenile, or maybe it's something that, you know, if we get the public defender's office involved early, that they can, we can decertify it, because it may not be one that, although we have to file as an adult, it's not one that we want as an adult. We've had those before, that we had to file it, but we knew going in, the kid was young, that this, you know, that he would be amenable to juvenile treatment, and we requested the juvenile office to decertify them as an adult, to bring it back down into the juvenile, so. Okay, so I just wanted to say that we were working to commend the prison.
Sergeant Candy's the one that got, you know, pre-up and running.
She-
She took off running with that, she did a great job, we wouldn't be anywhere close to where we are without, you know, her doing those things, so.
She's
She really
amazing.
deserves that credit.
Yeah, she's amazing. I sat through all the Prius stuff that she had and a few of our, because we do go up there. Paul, you didn't have, did you have any of your, anybody from the PD's office?
I think there was somebody, there was one client, but I think it was resolved, because I think Mary was talking about it, so.
But I would
Say your
suggest,
staff.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like,
Priya.
Your staff.
No,
went to the
no, I'm sorry,
pre-training.
no.
I think, you know, because you guys are up there a little bit more as to prison rape elimination.
Right, I'm sorry, I thought you meant,
Yeah,
did
that-
I have anybody who was
if you,
certified recently?
yeah, if you didn't get your people up there, Sergeant Candy does an excellent job with that.
Okay.
We had about, half of our staff, even though we're not up there that often, yeah, you know, the ones that do go came up.
Especially if you hear something reported.
Right, right.
Yep. Okay, so that's all I had under new business, just to, you know, give you an update on it. And is there any old business? Any correspondence? Attorney Franklin, you have anything good today?
Nope.
All right. Is there any further business? Anything good for the, meeting for the inspectors of the Carver County Jail? No further business, and, we'll deem this meeting to be adjourned. Thank you all for coming, and thanks for having the forum.